Look, it's no secret that we enjoy making leather-bound books, but we also like making custom computers. So what if we combine the two to make a real leather-bound computer? You see, ever since Hansi rebuilt his computer from the absolutely massive fantasy tavern into this little black box, he's just been sitting here all sad and alone in the corner. So sad. The goal is to make the computer resemble a book. So I'm thinking like having some grates at the top here to, imitate book pages. Then the sides of the computer can be book covers, with embossings and carvings on them. And then finally the front of the PC, I want to make look like a book spine with ridges and stuff. Oh, and of course I want the internals of the computer to actually match the aesthetic of everything. But we'll get to that one thing at a time. Well, there is just one little problem. I have never actually been able to get the result I've wanted when I've done leather carving in the past. I mean, like this, it's way too shallow. Same with this. There's just no real depth here. And I think it might be the leather we've used has just been too thin. And that's why this time I got the thickest, most expensive piece of vegetable tan leather I could find, which should be perfect for carving. And also this time I have done a bunch of research on how to prep leather properly for carving and tooling. And apparently the solution is casing. But Martina, what does that mean? Casing is basically just a fancy way of saying make leather wet. Kind of. You see, the important thing is that when you have a leather piece, moisture is applied and distributed evenly in the fibers. What you have to do is apply the water until the leather is saturated, but not so much water it becomes like all kinds of floppy. Once you have it saturated, you take that, put it in a plastic bag, seal it shut, so then all that good moisture can have a little party in here overnight till the next morning when you can take it out of the bag again, put it on your counter, leave it to dry until it reaches its natural color again, and only then is it ready for tooling. Leather tools, leather pieces, our computer case. Beautiful and fresh. The only thing is I don't feel quite confident enough to start building on this, so I'm gonna make a little test piece first, because man, I don't want to waste this leather. Hello? Let's carve! First off, we need to transfer these lines. So we got the lines carved in, and now comes the stamping. I think I'm just gonna start with stamping in the background and then try to make it a bit more 3D after. Okay, background's looking pretty good. So now I'm gonna use some of these little guys and try to give this some dimension, make it a bit more 3D. Excuse me? That's looking kind of nice. There's just one more thing I want to do to this, and that is to stain it. And dry again. Dude, I think we have it. That was a lot of work just for a little test piece. Oh yeah, this is where the actual project begins. Okay. All right, folks, testing's over, which means it's showtime. And let's begin with the most time-consuming parts. Why not? You know, the pieces that need the most leather carving of all of them, the two side panels. I started off with laser cutting 4 layers of plywood for each of the 2 covers, smacked them together with wood glue, and left it to dry. There we go. Now, while that is drying, let us cut out a big ol' chunk of leather so we can case it properly. And leave it overnight. So I let the leather rest for a little bit, and in the meantime I routed out the corners of the book covers just to give them a bit more dimension. That looks so much better. And so it is time to glue the leather to the wood covers, which turned out to be a lot harder than I expected it to be, because, oh boy, he's thick. How on earth is this gonna go? Just gonna find the edges. I think we need to do is cut it open in the center, make it a bit easier. Well, this was the moment that things started to get very chaotic, very fast. Not good.
What's going on?
The leather is just too thick, so it's like impossible to get it into the embossings.
Like the issue is that you're not able to like push it down.
Yeah.
Is there any tools we can use or anything to
I don't know. I'm kind of just panicking. Basically what happened was that the leather we're using here is extremely thick. Like 4.5 mil thick. Perfect for carving, but not the best for embossing and wrapping around tight corners. Right after we'd applied the glue, we quickly realized that we were not prepared for how difficult it was to shape this leather. And so we had to just scramble to try to make a jig that could help us shape this leather around the wood before the glue started to set. Once we got this cut out, it's going to be smaller than the square in the center, so we can then take this, hopefully, and like squish it and clamp it down in the center. I don't know, I'm just hoping it works. If it doesn't, then, I don't know. Honestly, the chaos just got worse from here because we couldn't clamp to the table, so we had to get another one. Go! And you know it's about to get real when you have to bring out the galvanized square steel. I'm not in the mood for this. In the end, we did manage to clamp it down and get the leather embossed, but I mean, the glue is probably dry now anyway.
But wait, can this work? If we just let it dry now, so it kind of gets the shape, and then we remove the whole piece of leather, and then we use contact cement to put it back on?
I guess. Well, we won't actually know if that's possible before a few hours from now, so time to go through the clamping chaos again, just on the floor, since we're out of clamps. Nice. Let's see if we can peel it off. Yeah, that really didn't work with that glue. But that's good in this case. Hey, nice. Okay. I think that's gonna work. Now let us take contact cement, smoosh it on there. And now I have one shot to get this alignment right. No pressure work, you know, just nice and slow. There. Okay, looking good. Well, I think we got the alignment right. Well, that was easier than expected. Massage it in there. Galvanized square steel, baby. And now we wait again. Now let's see what this looks like. Ooh, okay, can't complain. That's looking kind of nice. With the fact that this leather is so freaking thick, I think this looks pretty good. Okay, the excitement is coming back. Let's get these edges folded and glued. Now try to thin it down a little bit. Maybe it's easier to fold it in. Oh, thinning down this leather is impossible. I'm never gonna be able to like bend it over the edge, am I? What if... Hold on. I could just grab this 1 mil leather and get a really nice and sharp edge. Why didn't I do this from the start? You know what? You gotta have a small brain before you can have a big one. Good night. At freaking last, my friends, we can do the carving. Oh, man, it was a road to get here. Jeez. Oh, but this is gonna be good. But before we carve, I have something I want to tell you about. And just It's very random, but just hear me out, okay? I know a lot of you have been waiting for this, and I'm happy to say that the cryptic gold hoodie and joggers are back, baby! Woo! If you haven't seen them before, they are our super comfy 100% cotton hoodie and jogger sets, now upgraded with embroidered gold details for nice durability. They're currently in stock, so they will be, shipped out immediately if you order before they run out at nerdforge.store. I love these things. It's just so nice to be able to feel like a slob and not look like one. Know what I mean? But that's not all. For the past year, I have been trying to design the ultimate backpack myself. For me. We've made many iterations to test, what works and not least what doesn't work, with 3 goals in mind. To make it sturdy, make it functional, and most importantly, cool looking. First of all, it has so many compartments. In the front, there's 1 compartment, 2 compartments. This one has lots of little sub-compartments. Then on both sides, you have another compartment, another compartment, and not to mention these pretty big water bottle compartments where you can just easily slot a 1.5 liter bottle in there. Then on the back here, which I think is a neat little detail, is a luggage strap. And there's a hidden little passport room in here.